Whatever your visibility opportunity is, when your name, face, voice, business, or team are highlighted, so much becomes possible for you. Perhaps you're avoiding speaking because you hold yourself to a very high standard. Again, perfectionism. Let's not beat around the bush. Visibility is scary. It's vulnerable. It can be confronting. Today, we're going to talk about how to stop avoiding speaking because of all those things and start saying yes to the visibility, the opportunities that are around you. And you'll see maybe you could even create some. It's your mentor, Julia, here, and I'm excited to welcome you back to another She Speaks to Inspire episode, where we explore how professional women can get rid of speaking anxiety, get better at high-stakes communications without scripts or rehearsing, even if you are introverted. And our topic today is perfect for you if you have a tendency to avoid speaking moments. That could look like staying quiet in the meeting, deferring to your colleague or to your boss, even delegating to other people. It's a good leadership skill to have, delegating, but sometimes it can be a way of avoiding. Perhaps you're the procrastinator, putting off answering that email until it's really too late. Somebody else already took the spot of leading that part of the meeting. Another form of avoiding speaking opportunities is getting yourself super busy with what could easily be called busy work, doing all the detail-oriented work yourself. When really, in your heart of hearts, you know if you want to get ahead, you need to delegate that busy work and start to step into the leadership role yourself. Be the thought leader who speaks up. This can also look like supporting others instead of advocating for yourself. And yeah, it's a nice thing to do, sure. But if you are only championing other people, you get left in the background, behind the scenes. Perhaps when someone has invited you to speak, to join a panel, to be on a podcast, to lead the meeting, perhaps you deflected, saying, oh no, there must be somebody better than me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Your boss or your colleague might have seen the value of you taking the lead and really believed in you, but it was your deflection that lost the opportunity for you. And lastly, but most importantly, are you avoiding speaking opportunities because of your own perfectionism? What I mean by that is you might have the thought, well, I'm not ready. I haven't thought it through yet. My talk isn't ready yet. I haven't figured out my story yet. My slides aren't ready. I'll do it next year, someday, the next round. And you talk yourself out of it. It feels logical, feels wise. I'm being smart. And it also feels safe. Perfectionism is tricky like that. It keeps us safe. Because back to where we started, visibility, being in the spotlight, being the one who everyone is looking at and listening to is scary. It's confronting. It takes courage and confidence. It's vulnerable. People see you. People judge you. As we talk today about how to stop avoiding speaking opportunities and start saying yes, it's important for you to understand why it's even important to have more visibility opportunities for yourself. Ask yourself, why might that make a difference for me? What difference would that make in my life in general, in my career? Visibility opportunities are any moment when your name, your voice, your face, maybe even your department or company is highlighted and spotlighted. That could be as small as someone referencing you in a meeting, giving you a thank you or a call out. It could be you updating the team for a minute or two on your project or the update from your team. It could be you moderating an event, so you're simply introducing other people, all the way to visibility opportunities like you're the keynote at the conference, or you're the CEO doing the keynote at the all hands meeting each year, or you're the salesperson that's enrolling a new client when it's really all about you. Whatever your visibility opportunity is, when your name, face, voice, business, or team are highlighted, so much becomes possible for you. And the more it's highlighted, the more becomes possible for you. Let's talk about that. In sales and marketing, there's a rule. You know how they run those commercials for toilet paper or soap or those well-known companies run these commercials. They probably spend millions of dollars on them. And are you going to run out and buy toilet paper right then when you're watching TV? No. But what does it do? Why do they spend money on those ads? Because studies have shown it takes 7 touch points with a brand to establish credibility. There's 3 stages of creating credibility. First of all, the audience needs to know that you exist, which for you that happens when someone says your name. This is Sally from accounting. Okay, we know who Sally is. She is the accountant for the firm. Okay. Hi, I'm Teresa, founder of Illumina. Okay, we know who you are and who your role is and who your company is. Now we know. That's just the beginning, but it's a powerful beginning. Step number 1, we know who you are. Step number 2 is that we need to like you. So during those 7 touch points, moments of being spotlighted, there needs to be a sense of we like you built. I talk about this as approachability, that you're approachable enough that we like you. There's warmth. I'm leaning in towards you. This is an important part of building connection and credibility. But don't stop there. As the touch points go on, there also eventually is trust built because there's consistency. So let's say you have your weekly update meeting, and every week you make the intention for yourself to speak up once or twice, at least once, to share your opinion. And when you speak up, you say, "Hi, I'm Sally from accounting. I wanted to share with you about this." If this is a group of people that don't know you. Over 7 weeks or more, you've built up the knowledge, the likability, and therefore the trust through consistency that you're someone who can be relied on, you're a real player, and you know your stuff. You really have something to share. It's built up over time through repetition. This is the power of visibility and why it can very easily lead to that promotion that you're looking for, the new job, getting the lead role on that project, signing up new clients, etc. How can visibility and building the know, like, trust factor that we just talked about support your goals personally and professionally? There's 3 big reasons why you might be avoiding speaking. Let's break it down. Number 1, even though you're bought into all these things that you want and that visibility is going to help you get there, perhaps you're avoiding speaking because you hold yourself to a very high standard. Again, perfectionism. There's such a high standard in your mind that it feels out of reach and you actually start to feel inferior. This is when you might engage in self-criticism and beating yourself up and it ends up in a spiral where you're just your own worst enemy. So are your standards making it so it's easier to avoid speaking? Number 2 reason why you might be avoiding speaking, you just might be exhausted. Do you not have the energy? Are you burnt out? It takes a lot of energy to put yourself out there, to try something new, to take a risk, right? So if you want to increase your visibility, you're also going to need to nurture and nourish the amount of energy that you have. Or I like to think about it as like a teacup. How full is your cup? Is it empty? There's like only 2 sips left? Or do you have a good, nice, nourishing cup of tea to drink from when you need the energy. And then the third reason is something that we've touched on already. You might be avoiding speaking simply because of the feeling of being exposed and therefore seen, right? Other people see us, see you, sometimes more than you can see yourself. And that can go both ways. That can be great and that can be not so great. In that they might see how great you are. They might see how smart you are and knowledgeable and powerful you are, and you don't see it. You're there beating yourself up. So they might see the best in you. Believe them. I say, go ahead, lean in, believe them. Also, though, they might see some of your flaws, some of your self-consciousness. But I have to say, generally, other people are not as hard on us as we are on ourselves. Yes? So know that you're going to be seen, the more visibility that you have. But if you adjust your standards to be more realistic and you build up your energy reserves, often you can handle that exposure. But let's talk about 3 things that you can do to start saying yes to visibility opportunities, even if you're nervous, even if you're introverted. The big one that we've already touched on is fill up your tank or fill up your teacup, right? Do the things that give you energy. If you're an introvert, those are going to be things that are generally quieter, more private. If they are with people, they'll probably be in small groups or one-on-one with people you know very well. For me, my best way to fill up my own tank is to have a good night's sleep and a slow morning to myself. That brings me right back. By the afternoon, I'm alive again. A slow morning, maybe some yoga, a cup of tea, reading my book, a little walk in the sunshine. That kind of quiet time really fuels me. What is it for you? It might be something creative, like drawing or painting. It might be cooking or cleaning around the house. It can be very nourishing to do that. It could be sitting with a girlfriend and having a cup of tea, spending time with your husband, whatever it is. Know what fills your tank and do it. Number 2, set conscious, achievable expectations. So this is addressing those standards. If you're expecting yourself to blow everybody away in every update meeting every week and that you're going to be seen as the best engineer in the group, that might be hard to achieve. Or maybe expecting yourself to speak up in every meeting is just too much. I don't know. What's realistic for you? Maybe doing 10 speaking gigs by the end of the year is too much, but doing 3 and doing them really well, doable. The last one here, number 3, is the most important. The number 1 way to stop avoiding speaking and start saying yes to visibility opportunities is to embrace the mindset of improvisation, which is to say yes and then figure it out. Yes, and when an opportunity falls in your lap, say yes. When you have an idea to share with the group, say yes and share it and figure it out in the moment. You might not know what you're going to say, but you're going to flow, you're going to find it. That attitude will open up so much for you. Then simply go back to number 1, fill up your tank, adjust your expectations, and say yes again. You can work these over and over and over again to keep building the muscle of being open to visibility, open to being in the spotlight. And then the world is your oyster, as they say. I can never guarantee it, but the women who work with me almost always start to have opportunities drop in their lap, whether it's being invited to speak on a podcast or getting that promotion without even asking for it, or getting acknowledged for the work that they've done, or getting the job, simply because they're showing up differently and they're showing up more. They're being seen more. Trust the repetitions. Trust the process that the repetitions work. Be consistent and keep refilling your tank, resetting your expectations, make sure they're achievable, and then just say yes over and over. I hope this helps you to get your voice, your face out there and make a difference in the world. The world truly does need your voice.